running, 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 running. Shot, shot, clock, clock, running, 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 running. Shot, shot, clock, clock, running, 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 running. Welcome to Shot Clock. If you come in my lane, you getting your shot blocked. Coach Bub on the mic, BA is a hot spot. This is the podcast, tune into the broadcast. It might be a special guest, never know who gon' slide past. Got some topics to discuss while making the time pass. Let's talk about rap, let's talk about fashion, let's talk about sports, or what's the latest gadgets, and I ain't trying to brag. This right here the best show. Cross over, then lay 'em up with the left dough. Let's go, you got the rock. Time ticking, who willing to take the shot? Shot, shot, clock, clock, running, 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 running. Shot, shot, clock, clock, running, 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 running. Shot, shot, clock, clock, running, 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 running.
Yo, 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 it's your boy Coach Bub. We're on another episode of Shot Clock Podcast. And I got two very, very special guests tonight. I got the All American brothers, Mike Mayers, Nick Mayers, man. I appreciate y'all locking in with me, man.
Big time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, the guys. So, let's go ahead and get started.
I'm with it.
So, let's start where, you know, how the Flames and Woodstock brings everything kind of together as we move later on and eventually, you know, of course, get to Landstown.
Jesus.
So let's start there.
I mean that's for people who don't. My dad started a track team, which was the Flames, and it started off with literally just me and you, and that was the team. And then we ended up meeting up at a track meet to run. We met, and the crazy part is the original founders, that's Tonio Stokes, and Peanut, Peanut, and Devin, me and Nick. And so we all met up. My dad was like, yo, these two cats is on these other teams, we're gonna link together. We practiced, literally at the track meet, ran the relay. I don't know, man, we probably won, I can't remember what happened. But either way, that was the start of the Flames, so what people know now. So the Flames was basically just it was the mecca of what you did. If you ran, if you had speed, if you was an athlete, everybody's coming to the Flames. But everybody, if you wasn't, you didn't come.
Who's some of the guys that ran with the Flames?
Everybody. I mean, when it came to the Flames, I mean, Devion ran with the Flames. At that time, these kids was fast with it. Chandler Finner ran for the Flames. Javon Hall, Marquell, Percy Harvin. I mean,
EJ, Taj.
Yeah, every you name it. I mean, everybody has come see my dad. Everybody's came.
Terrell Whitehead.
Whitehead. Terrell. I mean, you David McDaniel. Clay didn't run. I don't know. He was so. But and then even for the older heads like Morris Webb. Let's see.
Well, we just locked. We just finished that interview up.
Yeah, that's a good one. That was my guy. That's the guy who I looked up to. You know, when I got there. But yeah, I mean, you name it. Everybody came through and ran with the Flames, and that was. And for me personally, like from being from this area, like and moving around as much as I did, that's how I got linked up with every single person in the entire city.
And the dope part about that was the Flames, back then, it was one team. So you got one team in the area in Virginia Beach.
There wasn't a bunch of teams or football coaches that can't coach track.
The best of the best.
It was the best. Yeah, it was the best. Because now it's 75 teams.
75 teams.
Everybody thinks they can coach track, but they can't. And so they messed up and diluted the thing. Like Nick said, back then, that was it. It was like, period. It was just one team. Either you ran, you made the relay. Like, you couldn't make the relay. There was runoffs. Like, it was like that. Like, the best of the best of the best ran. And that's how it was in the area. From that, that's what kind
Scotty
of...
McGee?
Yeah, Scotty McGee ran. I mean, you name it. Anybody that's come through this area who was somebody, they all been through it. That's what got me my connection with most people, which to me, very tremendously filtered and fostered that Landstown team that we'll get to talk to for sure, definitely.
So does this funnel right into like Woodstock?
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, the crazy part about Woodstock is Woodstock is a crazy story of how we even did Woodstock. Me and Brian Royster, we were at Kings Grant, and we were playing flag football at the time. And so we went through our flag football season, and we were going through, and we ended up meeting up to play the Woodstock Rams flag football team. Tevis was the quarterback, Scotty McGee was the running back, or Scotty was there or whatever. Either way, we beat them. The next week, we ended up playing Plaza Bears, featuring Jeremy Gilchrist. He beat us, he beat our team, and then went and won the championship. And from that moment, I was connected with Jeremy from that. And then the boys at Woodstock, we was like, from that point, my dad was like, all right, we're about to go to tackle. So we're either going to go to Bayside or we're going to go to Woodstock. It's one or two things, it's either one. And we ended up going to Woodstock, and from there, I mean, the story is written. And going into Woodstock those days, I mean, you know, my football career, alongside from y'all on that other side, the other side, I didn't know how to lose. We didn't lose, and it started with Aaron James, Scotty McGee, and me. And the following year, and it just continued to move from there. Like when I first got there, like, and I attribute a lot of my young success to playing with Aaron. Like he was that nigga. Yeah, Aaron was that dude, and people don't know that because Aaron's a hooper.
Aaron can ball.
Right, people don't know. Aaron with the Mustangs, you know, he had it at that time. He had it all. He was a crazy runner. They knew him, so that was his thing. So we was all subbing in and whatever. But yeah, and he had crazy swag, and that was the thing. Dead ass. Like I remember as a kid, I was like, yo, all right, I see you. But yeah, Aaron was that nigga for sure, definitely. That's how that kind of transitioned into Woodstock, though. Was definitely the whole Flames thing, and you know, NP ended up coming over because of that connection in our family and what have you. And but man, like I said, the story wrote itself basically, for sure.
Gotcha. Okay. So now let's start the transition, okay? Because obviously you went to Cox first.
I did.
All right. So how do you get to Cox, and what was that like?
So my mother and father split up in 7th grade, and what happened was it was 7th grade for me.
Third grade for me.
Yeah. And so, but they kept moving to different areas. And every year we kept going with a different parent. And they just so happened to be every time in a different fucking district. And so every year I'm the new nigga. And every school, every time. No, like literally, like we counted. I went to 10 different schools in 10 years. 10 different schools in 10 years. I'm fluctuating from the Landstown area, Lynn Haven area. I mean, I went to elementary school, I went to Allenton, I went to Pembroke Meadows, I went to College Park.
Parkway, College Park.
And then middle school, I went to Lynn Haven in 6th grade, Landstown in 7th grade, Brandon in 8th grade. Then 9th grade, when I first started, I was at Cox, left after the football season, went to Tallwood, left Tallwood, and came to Landstown. That was my life. Like literally, that was, and so then you bring into this, and it was like, well, of course, I know all y'all niggas. Mm-hmm. We're actually cool. Not like I see you from the field.
Yeah.
Like no, I actually know everybody. We're cool. Like and that was the biggest thing about that Landstown team was we had a deeper connection that people don't understand. Like it was deep, it was long, it was
grew up together.
Was loaded. Like and it makes like obviously like when you're in an area and you grow up together, that's one thing. But like our shit was deep. It was just deeper, right? It was a family, like literally a family. That AAU track shit, running, like traveling out of town.
And at that time, you was playing basketball at that time too.
Yeah, I mean all year round. All year round, it was like we played all the sports. You know, from Smalley Brooks, you know, and Coach Brooks, who is the godfather of Woodstock. Right. Coach Brooks is the godfather of Woodstock. I mean, yeah, me, Smalley, you know, Brian, Jared Morgan, Ricky Weimer, like you name it, like we did all the sports together all year round. So. I mean, yeah, that's that connection with all of that is kind of how I think strengthened a lot of bonds that we had from playing rec ball to transitioning into, you know, the team that we all know as those Landstown teams, basically, for sure.
So, what was your experience like playing for Coach Jackson? Like let's you know, before we get into it, you know, what was your experience like playing for Coach Jackson?
At the time, I was a sophomore, so that was my first year. I knew he fucked with me, like he liked me, because all through, because it was a new school when we got there, it was new, brand fucking new, and so we were all fighting for our spots and whatever. Like ain't nobody really had no spots, but everybody kind of did. And I remember going up to the board and it was like, yeah, my name was on the top for the niggas that made the team, whatever. Not that I thought that I wasn't gonna make the team, whatever, but it was like, it was the first name. So I was like, all right, these niggas really fuck with me. But like Coach Jack, he put the dog in you. He gave you the dog. He gave you the dog. If you didn't have it, then you couldn't play. And he was gonna beat it out of you. Yeah. And it was like actually beat it out of you. Playing for Coach Jack, he taught you how to lose. He taught me how to lose and not like it. Like, you know, not that I ever liked it, but it was just like, yo, y'all gotta have some shit with y'all. Like, this shit ain't cool. This shit ain't funny. Like it ain't, like y'all niggas smiling, like, nah. Like, and so playing for Coach Jack was dope for that. Like, he put a lot of dog in you. X's and O's was super basic. Super basic. But I mean, maybe he thought that's what we needed at the time. But it was super basic. But I enjoyed it. I started, like, it was cool. I started safety my sophomore year. I probably didn't belong back there. But like, I probably didn't belong back there at that time. But you know, it is what it is. Coach Jack was definitely different.
Like G playing inside.
Yeah, nah, like literally, like right in front of me. Like our middle was so weak. Just run through them, and nigga, I tell you, like Bolton, Delmas, coming through, and I'm like, how did they get to me already? I'm back here at safety. I'm like, yeah, this ain't it. This ain't it at all. But a lot of Jack get a bad rep, you know, just because of how it all went down and how he left and all that. But I enjoy playing with Coach Jack. I didn't have any ill will to him leaving. I learned. Everything is a learning experience. Like, everything is a learning experience. You take everything for what it is. I enjoyed it. I learned and took it from there. And then when Beatty came, I mean, I had the tools, some of the tools that Beatty could not give also. So, I mean, it is what it is.
Okay, so I asked everybody this, you know. I'm gonna ask you too. I'm gonna ask you first. So, what's your first impression of Chris Beatty? Like, when you first meet him, like, what is like?
Beatty was different. He was different than any other coach that I ever experienced. Like, super laid back, had the list, and it was like
the list was the problem. You had no street cred at the end.
Right?
Everybody listen to you. You had a fucking list.
Beatty,
you can say whatever you want hard, but it ain't coming out that way. It ain't coming out that way.
But Beatty was cool though. Beatty was cool, and I think Beatty was. I tell people all the time, the hardest offense I've ever learned was Coach Beatty. When I got to college, that was nothing. It was nothing. Beatty knew what he was doing. He had a plan, and he was real strategic about literally everything. Yeah. Very meticulous, and
every second was accounted for.
Man, what attention to detail, and I carry that even to work right now. Stuff that I learned from Beatty, and it was a cool experience, honestly. And transitioning and playing Division I college football, I was already prepared. I was already prepared.
Yes, definitely.
Like, as far as the preparation,
practice, all of that. Yeah,
literally everything. That's
off season conditioning, everything.
Yeah,
man, that's the crazy part. Niggas think we just roll out of bed.
Nah,
and it's like nice.
45 plates, right? Come on, man.
Niggas just thought we just roll. Like, we put in the fucking work back then, dog. We literally put in the work. I remember the summer before, like, me and Jerm going out to Mount Trashmore. Like, nah, nigga, we put in the fucking work, and that's why that shit happened. And we knew from that Jack year, we didn't want to do that again. We didn't want to feel what we felt that time. And niggas was talking so much trash to us. But that I get it, but they wanted to beat our ass, and they did. they wanted to beat our ass. They wanted to beat our ass.
I remember one thing Jack did say. He was like, "Remember, when we was playing Tallwood, and
they were trying to run the score.
They were trying to run the score. fades. They
I
was
hate
throwing
that shit.
fades.
Yeah, I hate
it was
that.
up by like 4 or 5 touchdowns. It was throwing fades.
These
and
niggas,
we watched the film.
These niggas.
And he was, you know what I mean? And Jack said, he said, just remember, because it's going to always come back around. And boy, when it came back around.
It didn't take long. It didn't take long to come back.
But yeah,
Came back around.
Beatty was my introduction to really thinking the game. To like truly thinking the game.
Yeah,
Like,
facts.
Yup.
But the mind is the difference maker. The mind sets you apart from the next thing, and that was the biggest thing that I take a lot of pride in myself and my brother.
mhm.
The mental part of the game is not even remotely close. And I can say that like it ain't even close. Like it's not even remotely close.
Another Beattyism. It ain't even
And then
close.
going to college, you know, and speaking to like real college people, like my college coach was like that. So like the football acumen was ridiculous. And so, but Beatty fucking put that shit in play. My first 2 years, I didn't have the coach that I ended my last 2 years in college. I didn't learn anything new for the first 2 years. I went to college with more understanding of football than the first 2 years when I got to college because of Coach Beatty. So it was and being able to receive that information and process it. I mean, we was playing with it wasn't even fair. It wasn't fair. It really wasn't fair to be honest.
And one of the dope things about Beatty that I remember just being young at the time, Beatty wanted you to learn everybody's position.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't. You're not just learning B.
Facts.
Learn wide, learn everything. I'll put you anywhere. You need to know what they're doing. You need to know why you're doing it. That was the big thing. Why are you running this route? Are you first? Are you the first read? Or the second read? You the check down? Why are you running this route? What is the pace you need to run this route? It was very meticulous, and Beatty is a genius.
Mm-hmm.
A genius.
No, my first impression of Beatty, I got it from Jerm, because me and Jerm was already linked up since forever. So, and Jerm, and if he was here, he would tell you. And we talked about it. Jerm, the reason why Jerm came to Landstown and felt comfortable to come to Landstown was because of me. Because he was like, yo, my coach is gonna be there, and I got Mike, so I'm good. That's literally that's what he said. The thing is, like, none of this shit happens on accident. Like, all these things happen, and the same thing with P and Dame. Same thing. It's like, the coach is there, and P good. This has to work. This is gonna be amazing. Like, but my first impression of Beatty was, this nigga is corny as fuck, and I don't understand what the fuck he gonna bring to the table at all. I don't understand. He had us. Like, it was jokes. It was jokes. I mean, and the sad part,
niggas who hit him with the
one of those.
Right.
Yeah.
The sad part about it
And he was
was,
wearing dad Nikes.
like,
Yeah.
we would joke Beatty to his face. That was the problem.
And he had the bootsy.
He had that fucking bucket hat. Bucket hat. And Jerm wanted to rock the bucket hat. I'm like, Jerm,
Right.
Stop
like,
it.
like, that's your boy, I get it, but the bucket hat.
Beatty even walk corny.
Yeah. I'm like, he had his little dumbass little. His gait was weird. But nah, that was my first impression of Beatty. But nah, when I tell you that motherfucker, I mean, I wouldn't be the nigga I am today if it wasn't for him, for sure.
Facts.
Like, when it comes to
Football, learning football and understanding, yeah,
no,
definitely.
I owe that shit all to him. I would say it to his face if I seen him.
Right.
Like, if I ever seen him again, I would say it to his face. Like, yo, if it wasn't for you, and the thing was, like, cause I was a tweener, right? Like, socially, like I was not the hood nigga, but all my friends were. All the people I hung out with. And so Beatty would, like, he would talk to me. He would like, we would have conversations. He's like, yo, you gotta figure this shit out. Like, what are you doing? What's going on? Like we would sit down and talk. And especially when it came to starting to go to college, he was like, I don't really know what you're gonna do. Like, you're not, like, he would sit me down and, like, have, like, man conversations. And I remember and then he was the main one. It was like, especially when I was about to go to Elon, he was like, yo, you about to go to this visit. If they offer you, you need to accept. It's contingent for a long story, but you need to accept. And I was like, yo, the nigga hadn't told me twice. Yo, that's he said that, cool. And I went, and that story wrote itself also. But no, Beatty, my first experience with Beatty was, I don't think it's gonna work. I don't think this gonna. He got the wrong niggas for this shit.
I'm glad you said that. All right. So your first impression of him is, I don't think it's gonna work. You got the wrong niggas for it, right?
Facts.
When does the light bulb click off for you, and it's like, oh, this shit is gonna work. And
Pass
he
league.
is the right nigga.
Pass
for
league.
this.
Pass
The Scola?
Absolutely.
Pass league.
The Scola?
What? How many weeks into it? Like the first week or just?
Nigga, the first game. Nigga, we was out there balling. Like, and it was, to be honest, it was, here's the deal. Let's be clear. We knew we were going to be nice.
Yeah,
We already knew it.
Without
When
doubt.
Jack was there, we knew he was going to be
Without
nice.
doubt. That was the
So
year.
let's not pretend like we didn't think that we was already going to be nice. But that nigga
But he
Beatty,
took it. That was-
yeah,
he took
it was a level they probably
to
would have
another,
never went
yeah.
to. Yeah. It would have never went there without Beatty. But nah, and then for me, and me and German talked about it, and me and Beatty and German talked about it. Beatty didn't know what he had. He thought it was just Germ and a young P. He didn't know that I could play like I could play. And he didn't know that until the Norfolk State Passing League that first year. And we went to that Norfolk State Passing League, and nigga, we went the fuck off. And I remember I caught a Yahtzee, or right off the joint, and took it like 80 yards. And from that moment, he was like, yo, yeah, this about to be a problem. Because I didn't even know I had 3 niggas. I thought I just had 2 niggas. And P, and he because he knew P was going to be, and he just started leaning on Germ. And from that moment, yeah, it was a wrap. It was a wrap. Man.
So let's just talk about that year, man. Like, what's going through Mike? Because we don't have, we had the other star wide receiver on the show, and he's a more humble and he's that guy. He's gonna catch a touchdown. Oh, that's my man.
My
But
guy.
look, when he's gonna catch a touchdown, he's gonna toss it to the ref, right?
Germ, but here's the
And
thing.
Michael T is not gonna do quite such.
No. We doing dances. We doing dances. We getting pom poms. We throwing popcorn in there. We doing it all. But like that's who we were though. We was like. But the thing was, we had a good mix though. We had that, and we had Jern that would try to like bring us down and like make sure that we were still good. But no, the crazy part about that year, we wasn't thinking about nobody else. Like it wasn't even about like the win or loss. It was how many points can we score. Like I didn't give a fuck about nobody on the other team. Like we're not thinking about nobody. It was never a thought of losing. Like literally, and coming off of a team who was like 5-5, right? And the following year, I never thought we were gonna lose. I never had a thought because I knew what we had, and I seen it in the preseason, like us doing what we had to do. And yeah, I was like, nah. It was literally like, yo, we are about to put some work on whoever it was, and we had an interest in our crew was it was me, Germ, and P. That was our crew, and like Germ wasn't gonna talk shit. You had to really piss Germ off and talk shit. P was still young, so P didn't really talk a lot even then, but P just did his thing. And it was me, and I was talking, and I was like, and we were talking about this before it started. I was like, yo, like niggas don't understand, like I was the nigga that was the leader of that crew. Of the receivers, like Germ is like he's like Kawhi Leonard. That's what Germ like that. That's what Germ was like Kawhi. Like Germ is a Kawhi type dude. Like just do as I do. I'm not gonna rah you up. P was too young, and I was a nigga that was like, yo, let's get after it. We talking shit. We smacking niggas in the face. Like that's who it was. And so and
swaggy with it too.
Right, and super swag, and all that swag. That shit came from Tone and Tone. It was Tone. It wasn't nobody else. It was Tone. And Tone was my friend, my best friend, one of my best friends going on.
And I think it trickled down a little bit though from the Mo Webb and with the spray paint.
Yeah.
Bayside, right.
Let's
go.
That's from Bayside.
Right.
So I can also say they were the first ones. So we're talking about that swag, you know what I mean? But it was Bayside and the beach.
Right.
Yeah,
so facts. Let me. So there's 2 parts to that. There was that, but there was still the extra accessory part.
Oh yeah.
That was. But yes,
with the sleeve.
The spray painting of the cleats was definitely Bayside, and it was definitely Mo Webb and fucking Ray McCoy and them niggas and that's why I started by saying like them the motherfuckers who like yo
they started,
that whole swaggy shit. No, that was they shit. and we took that shit. They made it a hot line. We made it a hot song. We made it a hot song. Like, yo, we took that shit and ran with it. And for me, don't give me no reason to do nothing crazy, because I took that shit and ran with it. Like,
so what was it like when you threw that number 1 on, threw that shit on?
That's
Game time. The lights on.
Don't touch me.
Hey, look, we had Mitch up here, right? You seen the joint? You know what he said, right? He said, my favorite receiver was Mike. But what he said, well, I know my nigga gonna drop the first one. Look, he said he gonna drop the first one, but the second one gonna be electric. Bro. He said that's why I had to get it to him early. He said I'm gonna throw it to him early.
Mitch is my guy.
He gonna drop it, but that second one gonna be electric.
Mitch is my guy. Like, no, like because the thing is, me and Mitch came through the mud together. We was there, like we was running. We was running curl and fly, posting out together. And the crazy part was, even back then, like it was P and them was P would come sometime, and we were run posting out, and it was going to the out every time. I played slot though. I played slot, and then we run curl and fly, and it would go to the X. After a while, I said, "Fuck that shit, Jack." So I just start moving to whatever place there was, whatever, because there was only 2 fucking plays really. Every place, whatever you went to, I just started moving, and them niggas never said nothing. They never said nothing. They never they just let me just do it. I was like, yo, because no one else is gonna catch it. P ain't gonna catch it. They're just gonna bust his face wide open. He's like, no one's gonna catch the ball. So I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna do it. And so, but no, to bring it back to where we was at though, to what it felt like was invincible. Like we was just, I'm telling you, like it was video games. We was not trying. Our thought process was all about how many points can we put up, how swaggy can we get, how can we make you look stupid,
right?
How can we embarrass you?
Right.
How can we embarrass you? It was never like a loss was never even in the conversation. We never thought we was gonna lose.
13-1 to go.
Yeah, and we should have went that way, because if we didn't have that swag, we probably wouldn't have made it there, because we had adversity with LC Bird. We had adversity in the playoffs, so we could have. But if we didn't feel like we was them niggas, we could have.
That Western Branch game.
Yeah, fucking
tsunami.
Yes, that was different. Lamont Stanfield catching that deep ball. It's crazy pass on the 1 yard line. Like in the beginning, we like, yo, this shit right here. And then even Ocean Lakes with your ass with the tackle. Like Austin Smith. Yeah. I'm like, yo, like we went through some shit. Like niggas was like it wasn't
battle tested.
But yeah, if we didn't have that mentality, like we wouldn't have been there. But like, nah, what it felt like was what it always felt like. It was like, yo, I mean, and Beatty said, this was Beatty saying, he was like, if you bring your A game,
we bring our A game,
it
ain't gonna be fun.
And that's
getting
like a motherfucking German. That was the part where I was like, that's that Beatty shit. Like,
that was so weird.
Why do we have to do that?
And we said to ask him like, he was like, yeah, cause
no, niggas, like you gotta explain it, right?
Well, yeah.
Like, nah, why do we have to get in the ass like a motherfucking German? What does that mean? What does that even mean? That was that Beatty shit. Fuck it, we just gonna have to get in the ass like a motherfucking German. But somehow, some way, that was a hype.
And niggas get amped. Niggas just wanted a reason to get amped.
Right.
But what was it? Hey, look, what was it like though? Like, cause I ain't gonna lie. I love the way Oscar Smith come out that cage. I don't know if y'all seen that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But yo, the way we used to come out
with that walk.
We walked to that Jay-Z.
We walked. That was the hardest shit.
It was different, man.
Cause no one was doing that.
Whose idea was that?
It was different.
Whose idea was that?
Remember.
No, that's a good question.
But I remember Sawyer used to come out and do that Ray Lewis shit.
And that shit used to get us started.
Yeah, yo, my man Sawyer run out there, bitch, do that mother, and go, no, and he would run to that other team sideline, point at them niggas and be like,
this shit,
and hit him with this shit.
Yo,
it's it.
I'm talking
your heart gone.
And then we would just,
your heart gone. We already took it, bro. You know this is back when he had biceps.
Back when Sawyer had muscles.
Back when he was actually bigger than Mike.
But no, that shit right there, that was some different shit. Cause Sawyer, cause our swag was like, we was chill. When he did that shit. Like even the little skilled niggas in the back was like, yo, we about to fuck these niggas up.
Hey, look, that shit was. Look, let's talk about this one, right? Because everybody always talked about my senior year, the Cox fight.
Okay.
What about the real Cox fight when they walked through our warm-ups?
Yeah. I mean, look. And
They
it
walked-
ain't really
they- well, they
much to
attempted to walk through our
I'm about to say, it ain't really much to talk about. It ain't really much to talk about.
I remember.
That was the real, like that brawl that happened after the game. That won't really, but it looked worse than what it was.
That shit was crazy.
That was
That
the
shit was
fight
bad. That
pre-game.
shit was bad, yeah.
When they tried to walk to the line.
Yeah, it wasn't nothing really talking about, but that shit
I don't
didn't
think they
happen.
knew what they were signing up for.
That shit didn't happen.
I don't think they knew.
They had the
what
right
they were signing
ones.
up for.
Right. Yeah.
The linebacker drill?
They didn't know.
Good, the linebacker drill.
You could have went to any other drill.
Yeah, walk to the DB.
Any other drill.
Well, you got a better shot.
Me
You got
and
a better shot.
Jordan
might would have been like,
yeah,
go ahead. You know what I
I
mean?
see y'all niggas. y'all.
Like, no, we want all the smoke.
Nah.
We actually were just tackling. Oh, yeah.
Tone, D, Sawyer, Bub, like G,
Arlo.
all like. Why did you pick them? Of all people, why did you pick them niggas? Like, nah, you got the raw. And the D line was just dirty and nasty also. So them niggas was dirty.
Shit, shot. That's my dog.
Fucking Arnett was a dog. All them niggas, man.
2 times.
Yeah.
A square, baby.
Right.
Yeah, you didn't want to see them niggas. You didn't want to see y'all. They should just came to our side. We would joke their ass or something. But that was the wrong place to go to. No, definitely the wrong place to go to.
All right, so what's the feeling of losing your last high school football game in the state championship?
In the moment, it was my world was crushed. Like it was bad. It was bad. I mean, there was nothing else to say. Like it's sad that, and here's in retrospect, looking back, because I can get to the end part, but yeah, it was sad. That's what it was, and it was devastating. I remember crying on the field. I remember my nigga Brushawn Thomas coming up behind me, grabbed me on my back, told me it's gonna be okay. Like, but it was, and it didn't make sense because it's like he was in a fight. You know you're in the fight, but ain't nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
Like it was like
You seen it happen,
right? It was like
it's like watching. It's like being at home watching a movie, and you be like, oh, this about to happen,
And
like,
you're still-
and you know it's about to happen, and you gotta
You
just watch
can feel it from the stands.
Yeah.
It's like this
No,
is not.
you know
supposed to happen.
what it was for me?
This is not supposed to happen.
When he ran the joint back, it wasn't even when he ran it back because he wasn't supposed to kick it. But when the fans got
y'all
up,
let that story go.
when the fans jumped up and was
At
like,
that time, you
and
didn't-
started screaming, Eddie, I was like,
I was
this
jealous.
is different.
I was jealous.
And
like,
then
we ain't had nobody doing that shit.
When
for us.
Royster Pop went on us for like 16, he was like, he's only a sophomore. I was like,
That was like, these are some white
This-
fans.
Right.
I'm ready to go home.
They just got the white
Well, I
fans.
just-
White
The
I just
camera
wanna get-
crazies. And
let's just get out of here. Like at this point now, let's not get beat by
like,
60.
this shit is different.
Like,
These
let's
niggas
not
got
get
the white
beat by
fans.
40. Let's keep this respectable.
No, but again, and I tell, and again, in retrospect,
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I talk to a lot of people in retrospect. It's like, dog. And again, in the moment, detrimental. Looking back, nigga, that was one of the best state football games in history.
And I promise you,
Them
because
niggas
we
that
live
nigga
up-
went to Penn State. Then all them niggas went to the league.
They still
all
talk
of them
about
went to
that.
the
We
league.
live up there now. They still talk about that.
Oh yeah,
They
we
still-
there.
they
All
still talk
of
about
them niggas went to the
oh,
league.
yeah. Oh,
Evan Royson went to the league. Sean Glidden went to the league. Eddie
They
Roy
still
went to the
trying to
league.
make
40 college football
Right,
players,
facts. I'm like,
They
you
still
know what I'm
trying.
saying?
it was. So it's looking back. It's like, yo, if I was gonna lose, I'm glad I lost
Yeah,
to niggas
and that's the
that
same
played
thing
for the
I said.
Broncos. I'm glad I lost to niggas that played for the Bears.
Yeah,
I'm like,
Right.
all right,
I seen him make a couple Pro Bowls.
I'm glad I lost to a nigga that played for the Redskins. Every once went to Redskins. I'm like, yo, it is what it is. I mean, that was one that has to be one of the best high school football championships in regards to players that played.
Right.
And one of them in history, in Virginia history for sure. I mean, it was a lot of niggas that came through there. But
All right, so let's get the younger perspective, okay? So obviously you're not in school yet, but you see it, you there. Like it's your brother, like you there. You know what I'm saying? With Pete, everything. Like so you see it all. It's unfolding. And we know you next in line. Like
Right.
you know how it go. So what was it for you to be like? All right, was it in the back of my mind like I gotta chase my brother? Like I can't let the team down. Like it's tradition now. Like it's
Right.
because at that point we was building a tradition. Like this is the standard, bro.
Dynasty.
We went 3 in a row.
the standard, yes.
Yeah, so it's
And then
like
the crazy thing, it didn't even start there. It started with the Mustangs. He just said they never lost with the Mustangs. So it wasn't like, you know, once we get to Landstown.
That when you say like his life.
It's
his life,
Warner,
yeah.
because we didn't have that. Like, but it comes from them.
That's the other thing, and I don't mean to cut it off, but like that's the part that people don't understand in this area also. And this is why I want to give credit to Scotty McGee, Aaron James, myself, Eugene, Smalley Brooks, Brian Royster. Nigga, we didn't lose a game, and then we went to the Rams. We lost one game. This is my career. I didn't lose a game for 2 years. Then I went to the Rams. We didn't lose a game that year except for one, two Peanut and Kashif, I think his name is, and with Cook, and then came back and beat them in the championship. So that was what he was chasing. That was what he was chasing, and there wouldn't have been no Pop Warner. Bruce wouldn't have been. He wouldn't have been popular enough. Bruce wouldn't have been popular enough.
Why would you take a losing team to go play more better people if you can't even win at your home?
So Bruce was able to do what he did with Pop Warner because of us. And P, when they came over there, if it wasn't for us, unless Bruce would have fleeced him with some bread. Other than that, he wouldn't have come.
Because the whole time, P at the time was with Tony.
He was a Plaza. He was beat up. He was getting beat by us. He was getting beat by Scotty.
When Jeremy was at Plaza.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, he played with me.
Right.
Yeah, Tony, y'all was sorry.
So P. And this ain't your time. This ain't your time.
Alright, so you get to Landstown, you're a freshman. You know, you don't play, but you're on the varsity team. You know what I mean? So what was that perspective like? And just being a part of that ride, watching your brother just play in the state championship and just have success, and go on and be a Division I athlete, and then you come in and then damn, like they actually to win it. Like, what was that like?
I'm gonna say something real quick.
Go ahead.
Because it's you gotta also understand at that time we had another brother.
Right.
So it needs to be said.
Fact,
It's not that currently.
Fact.
But at that he didn't have a brother. He had
two brothers. You did.
We had a brother at that time. We had a sister, and so it wasn't just about me. It was us. We was eating. We was all eating. We were together.
House of All American.
Right. No, that's like nigga. Like nigga.
Yeah.
House of All American.
Literally.
We literally had this conversation with
Brandon
somebody.
Marshall. Brandon Marshall. House of
We
All
had this
American.
conversation. Somebody asked me.
No,
like,
seriously.
Somebody
Bro,
asked me.
it's on my paper.
It
says it up here.
That's the story.
It says it up here. Like,
Somebody asked me, what was your experience like? What do you think you could tell somebody? I honestly can say, I literally had no choice. You cannot be in the same house with these type of individuals.
Yeah, not with me and Pete.
You can't be in the house with these individuals and be sweet. You can't be sweet. Yeah, you can't be
because Lentera was a dog.
Yeah, like,
you know what I'm saying?
Like a dog.
Right.
A dog. Like she was that nigga. For real.
Right, and
So
so
you had to come behind all that.
Right, I was gonna say, because I was gonna say, that's all I want to say.
She's,
Like,
she's a collegiate All-American.
Mhm.
P, we know who Percy is. We know what your brother did, and then you go watch him in college. Like, you watched him in college.
right.
Getting off.
Right. So coming into high school, I had the perspective of, at that point, already having kind of stumbled, because again, it goes back to Pop Warner. So again, we with the Mustangs, it's wreck. We mop everybody up again, 40 dub, game over, like run the clock. And then we play Pop Warner. It's P, it's Javon Hall. Trent, that was the next year. That was next in line. Trent Hughes. The Nick, yeah.
Nick Jenkins.
Dominique Palmer.
Kerry Chalker.
Chalker, yep. A bunch of dudes. So again, it's just a tradition at this point of winning. It's a tradition of winning, and I'm literally soaking up everything. I tell kids all the time, there's no such thing as plagiarism in football. And when I'm teaching people, I'm like, all right, you sitting in the back of the line. You can get a rep sitting in line. If I dice somebody up at the line and you like what I do, why wouldn't you do it? Like, it's stupid. You're supposed to do that. I give them something crazy at the line. I twist my feet backwards. You should do that. It works. It works. There's no such thing as plagiarism in football. And so, watching all of that, and then actually coming to Landstown, again, it was just patiently waiting. All right, it's going to be my turn. It's going to be my turn. And I need to uphold all of this tradition. And then boom, Beatty leaves.
Right.
Yeah.
Boom,
Yeah.
Beatty leaves.
Cause you seen it all. Like
Mhm.
you got to be the guy, the spectator.
Mhm.
You got to sit, wait your turn.
Mhm.
You got to play in it,
Mhm.
and then you got to be like.
And the dope part about it for me is when I was in 8th grade, I was coming to passing league. My homeboys, they all doing whatever they doing, chasing skirts with women. I'm like, nah, I'm about to go up to the high school. They got conditioning, they got practice. I'm going up there like Future. You play basketball.
Yeah,
Remember
of
Future
course.
League. So Future League was dope. They didn't have that for football, but I was there.
And Coach Kelly is one of the
Oh man,
most underrated coaches in this area.
Whoa.
Like
I have never worked harder in my life than for Coach Kelly. Again, another thing.
I sweat.
Man,
And
what?
he's gonna sit there.
Touch every line. Whoa.
Yup. That's what I found out with a real suicide. Touch every line in the gym.
It's tick marks right here. That's not a whole line. That's just a tick mark.
Touch it.
Touch every line.
Touch it.
Coach Kelly was real.
Yeah.
Coach Kelly was real.
No, but I think to bring it back to like what you're saying as far as like chasing, like
Mm-hmm.
that's we in our house. I mean, that's just what it was. Like it was no choice. Like we had a basketball court in the back. We played basketball. We played football in the house.
Some epic battles on that court, man.
Yeah.
Man, what?
Yeah.
Epic battle. Lord, that Joe, you know about that thing
And we
dunking.
dunking on 7-foot hoops.
Yup.
We going at it. And I'm talking about like it ain't funny. It ain't funny.
Percy mom had a daycare. Whenever all the kids left for daycare, we playing football in the room.
In the little garage there. Like it was
never a dull moment.
And it would be either Damien Percy versus me and Nick. It'd be Percy and Tremaine versus me. It was always me and Nick versus P and whoever else BJ.
Yeah,
Or BJ, P and BJ, like whoever it was. And I'm talking about like, yo, we went at it.
Fighting.
We went at it. And so it's like Nick said, like you didn't have a choice. Like and that's why like my perspective on sports is different because it was like, yo, I don't know nothing different. I don't know anything different. I don't know an upbringing differently. I don't know. I saw the supposable that would you say this is the best nigga in the country? Well, I seen him. So if you ain't that, then y'all trash. Because I know the best nigga in the country. I know it. And so and that was my brother at the time. So nah, y'all ain't shit. And everywhere I went, any place that I went to college. I met a lot of niggas from a lot of places. Y'all could have did. No, you couldn't. You couldn't beat us. No, you couldn't. You couldn't beat
Not
us.
even close.
Yeah, you
got
didn't.
mopped up.
But you think that? But that's
I remember
cool.
one of my teammates in college. He actually played at Helix, so he was teammates with Reggie Bush and what's my name, Alex Smith.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, it's fine, we'll beat you. Like I see their highlights. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
P was Reggie Bush.
We would have beat you.
He was Reggie Bush when his time came. When his time came, he was Reggie Bush also.
We had Terry Mitchell.
Facts.
Right.
So it was like, you know what I'm saying?
And another thing that I don't think a lot of people know, at that particular point in time, P was hungry. From watching y'all,
It was different. Yeah.
from P was
different.
hungry.
Yeah, it was different. It was
So it's
different.
like he coming up, he's a junior. We already know what time. We've already ran the Flames. You're literally winning the 100 meter every single year that you're running track. So we know you're the fastest dude in the country. Like, you know, this is not Virginia Beach. This is not the East Coast. No, this is AAU.
The whole
This is
country,
Junior Olympics.
the whole
He's winning. He was hungry.
Yeah,
Super hungry from watching y'all. So he's like, nah, it's still more to do. It's still more to accomplish. It's still more that needs to transpire. The job is not done. And
he had to make his name for it.
Exactly. And P used to get up early. His aunt was a personal trainer. She probably still is a personal trainer. She was a bodybuilder. She used to be at the crib early, 5:30 in the morning.
This was the junior year when I was going to
Right. She used to be there 5:30 in the morning. The first 2 times I didn't go because I didn't know what was going on because I'm still young at the time. I'm just in 9th grade. I'm playing basketball. I'm doing a bunch of stuff, and I'm like, after the third time, I'm like, I need a piece of that. I need a piece of that. We was up 5:30 in the morning during the week, 5 days a week. 5 days a week, waking up at 5:30, and I'm looking at the best player in the country do this. We on the beach. We on the beach. We on the ocean front, running in the morning. Like, it was unreal. Like when I look at a broad perspective of everything that I've went through when it comes to college football and high school, it's like it's very little anybody can say to me as far as
there's nothing anybody can
Right.
say about nothing.
All right, so
Somebody talk about shit to me.
Mm-mm.
let's both get to college. Okay, so Mike,
I
what's
love how you like to say, let's get to college. But when you have the conversation about the top niggas, you say, let's take college out of it. You say that. I see you say it.
because we were talking about high school at the point.
But it's the best niggas who came out there. So is it the best niggas who came out, or is it the best niggas who played college football?
Well, because it could be
High
both.
school,
Because everybody
for the time period,
everybody doesn't go to college.
Okay, then well, that's just speak volumes also.
Also, how
What
can
are
you be the
talking
best
about?
nigga if you ain't playing college?
What are you talking?
We didn't have this conversation.
Is Morris Webb not one of the best?
It's a good point.
So that's what I'm saying.
You want to let me
Is
finish?
Devion not one of the best?
Yeah, but you still. But the two things can be true.
Digress.
So that's
Two things can be
what I'm
true.
saying.
No, but you said it. But two things can be true. You can say that, but also not say let's not count college.
No.
Because that was the only part.
We're getting that, Mike.
I got you.
If we look at the totality of it, to be honest with you, nobody that played football with us, other than Pete, had a better career than either one of y'all.
It's true.
Yeah.
If we
That's true.
look at the numbers,
It's no.
that's a fact.
It's a
Like,
fact.
it's Googleable.
It's a fact.
We Google that.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
It stops right there.
And it's crazy because if you would have looked at it from college, you wouldn't have thought that. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Look at it from high
You
school.
would have thought that.
You looked at it from
You know
high
what I'm
school.
saying?
I would have
Right?
thought that. Y'all would have thought
You
that.
see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
That's deeper though. I thought.
no. So what?
I knew that.
No, you what?
I was not confused about that. What happened? The fact that that's what happened. I was not confused. Nigga, that shit. Nigga, let's be clear. Beatty is Urban Meyer.
Fast.
Whoever the fuck Beatty touches, it goes. And whoever he wants to pop will pop. We would get to the 1 yard line and he would call quarterback sneaks for germ. Like, what the fuck was that? How did we call a quarterback sneak for the receiver to get a touchdown? But that's what Beatty did that. Beatty did that. Beatty knew what the fuck he was doing. And Jerm was that nigga. So yes, Beatty needs to look good. So I'm gonna call these plays for this motherfucker. But at the same time, it's not. No, I never thought that. I never was confused about what happened or how it was or how it played out. And me and Jerm talk about shit all the time. There was never a point in time in my life where I felt like any of them niggas was better than me.
Gotcha.
Never. And I still feel that way. And I told Jeremy that even in college. And we had a bet. And I beat his ass in that bet also. Who was gonna have the most catches? And I did that.
Whew.
And I did that. I never felt like
I got y'all numbers here.
But Beatty,
but I know y'all know them.
but that's what I'm saying. Like that's cool.
Yeah.
Like I did shit worked out the way it needed to work out. But no, you're saying like nobody would have thought that. I knew that.
No, I'm not saying nobody would have thought that you would have put up the number.
So let's
but
summarize
because
it.
if we look at it, okay.
Who has the best
What's the
talent?
projection?
Right,
What's
right,
the projection?
exactly.
If we're projecting,
Right.
Mike,
I-
Yeah,
the
but
projection
the
has to
projection-
be Percy, Devion, TJ, Damon.
Right.
That has to be.
and Jeremy, and before you
That's and Jeremy.
Right,
That's all I'm saying.
Don't forget
Right,
That's
Jeremy.
all I'm saying.
Right.
Yeah, but again, that's why I said the Urban Meyer thing. Dwayne Haskins is what?
ass.
Any other quarterback from Ohio State is what?
Chicks.
But they gave them the opportunity, so they balled out. My point is, I didn't get the opportunity. I got my opportunities, but I didn't get the same opportunities, and it didn't matter because I didn't deserve them either. Because Jeremy was that nigga, and that's my nigga, and he was that nigga, so he deserved them. And P was the up and coming, so he got his splashy plays. But there was never a game in which we was like, well, that person.
So here's a question.
Like, it never happened. It
This is
never
the
happened.
last question about that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Who benefited more of the relationship? Beatty or Percy?
P, for sure.
He benefited more?
Fuck yeah.
I disagree with that.
I disagree.
I don't.
He was gonna be P no
I
matter where
think,
he was at.
yes, he was. I think this.
What?
Bro, he was
Then why wasn't he in the NFL then?
Well, that's different. That's
No, it's
different.
not
We made it
actually,
in the NFL.
because he
Oh,
wasn't.
Come on now.
He balled.
No,
He couldn't stay healthy.
no.
Bro, he played.
This conversation is about to go way left because
No.
Mike was older and Mike was out of the house at the time. But
No,
Man.
P had so much
Oh, it's
more to
still
take.
gay, right? It's mental health month still, right? P had some shit.
P had more shit on the table than
He had
not
some
the
shit.
Any of that.
So that's all I'm saying.
But
that's
you
all
still,
I'm saying.
You still wouldn't call him a bust though.
And who the hell said that?
No. I
said
would.
that.
I would call him a bust.
If not you,
Knowing what I could see from
do you
him.
want us to talk or do you not want us to
We're
talk?
talking.
Then that's all I'm saying.
I would.
I'm not
That's all I'm
disputing,
saying.
but
I'm not going as far as the bus, but what I know he had, I'm very disappointed.
Yes, there you go.
That's
not
my
a bust.
answer.
You're right.
Very disappointed.
Super disappointed.
Very disappointed. I'm telling you.
No, we're all disappointed.
I don't know what you feel. That's the first time I heard you say it. I don't know.
I think he had Hall of Fame talent.
Yes,
That's what I'm saying.
Facts.
He had Hall of Fame talent.
Facts.
So obviously he fell short.
felt very short.
But he still had a good career.
No,
he
didn't.
Could have been.
No, fuck no. P was that nigga, and he wasn't that nigga.
He was a nigga, but not that nigga.
But P, like, it's deeper than what y'all talking about. What y'all saw that Super Bowl run, like, this shit was all fucked up, man. Everything was fucked up. Everything was fucked up. He was in a bad situation. They didn't use him the way they needed to.
Yeah.
Like, it was all fucked up.
He was never used the way he
No, because he's not a wide
He'd
receiver.
have been better in today's NFL.
He's not a
move
wide
around
receiver.
like a Kamara, move him around.
Right, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
He wasn't
He's not a receiver, and that's the problem. And so when y'all
the
keep
same
talking
thing
about
with Michael Vick, if Michael Vick plays today,
and
it's
the same
a
thing,
different Michael Vick.
when y'all keep talking about the top receivers and y'all keep talking
Everybody,
about Percy,
everybody always says let's take the
top
Percy.
receiver. I'm talking to you. I'm telling you, he's not a top 5 receiver because he wasn't a receiver. He's the best athlete ever, but he's not the top 5 receiver at all. But if you get to the nuts and like you really get into it. He was not. Dame was a better receiver than Percy.
Everybody says
I'm just saying.
That's
what consensus.
Everybody.
That's what I'm saying. Like and the sad part is like coming from me and Nick, it's gonna sound crazy
It's
on
gonna
the
sound
internet.
hate. But not that. Because everybody agrees on that. Everybody agrees on that.
P should have, if he had a better situation, a better backing, a better background, better people around him, better situation, he would have been in a better. It would have played out better. Period.
So,
That's my I ain't never talked about that shit. Cause I don't talk about that shit. I don't talk. I literally don't talk about that at all.
That's his business.
Yeah,
People still ask me to this. Yo, you still?
No,
we don't.
No,
I wish we could, but we don't.
I don't.
I wish we could.
I don't care. I did care. I don't
I'm
care
younger,
anymore.
so like
Yeah,
me and P had a really good relationship. That was big bro.
It was different. Because once I left, they had more time. They had more time.
Yeah, it was big bro.
But I mean, no. I mean, at the end of the day, like, yeah. If I would have wrapped that around something, yeah, I would say that he fell short, bro. Like, he fell very short. It's not just semi-short.
But going back to his original point, though.
But bust is like Jamarcus Russell. Like that's when you say
the
bust.
extreme. That's like the extreme.
No, you say bust. No.
No one said the word bust.
Bust is Jamarcus Russell. Like, he's not a bust.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying. Like, he definitely, because like I said,
You said he had a good career.
Hall
I
of
disagree.
Fame.
You said he had a good career. He did not have a
He
good
had a
career.
good career.
No, bub.
He won Rookie of the Year, and then after that it was some mid.
he made 2 Pro Bowls.
Sounds good. That's Percy Harvin talking about.
And we also talking about some real niggas too. Like we expect better than that from you. From you. I hold you to a higher standard than that.
No. P was when you have expectations, that's how you let people down. Everybody had expectations of X, Y, Z. And P had expectations for himself, and he carried himself as he should have. So the way he carried himself, he should have had.
But is it safer to say it's a tougher road for him than you?
Who?
Because you didn't have those expectations.
No.
So it's different. Like LeBron, for LeBron to have to deliver,
I feel like I can answer it.
think about this.
I feel like I can answer
Michael
this better.
Jordan was able to become the player that he had to become without expectations.
Well, you can't compare
You just-
me and P because I never was on that level.
No, that's what I'm saying. So it's a little easier.
And that's where I come into play. Did he have it hard? Hell no.
No. I'm just talking about to the standard of playing. I ain't saying background and all of that.
But you set the standard yourself. Go ahead.
Play football. We've been doing this since we was kids.
Just play ball, nigga.
Just play ball.
Just play ball. You want to do all the other shit? That's on you.
That's
nigga.
on you.
Nah, I can't speak on none of that. Y'all was
I don't
brothers.
know shit.
So I can't speak on none of that. I'm just
It's
saying.
not that hard.
So and because everybody knew what was about to happen, man, they rolled that red, man.
You talking about
He
what's hard?
ain't
You
have
had the red carpet his whole life. How is that hard? You had the red carpet your whole life.
That man ain't one for nothing ever.
You getting Jordans and sneakers your whole life.
Ever.
That might be a crutch though.
How?
That's fine. I'd rather have a crush and get down the mud.
Right.
But
What we
getting
talking
out the
about?
mud makes you appreciate it.
That's
more.
fine, but
You really have to go
if you
your
can
question-
make it through, if you can make it through.
And your
If
question
you don't, then
was,
you won't,
your
though.
question was, is it harder because you have these expectations? No.
Shouldn't be.
Roll the
I think
red,
it is.
roll the red
I
carpet.
think it is.
Roll the red carpet out for
You
me.
have an affinity.
Tom Brady didn't have any expectations.
He didn't.
Peyton Manning
He's different.
did.
They're different.
It was harder. Peyton had to be great.
That's a good point.
He had to be great. He's the All American. His dad is Archie.
So let
He's
me-
got to be great.
so-
Tom Brady's 7th round
So
draft pick.
are we looking at this from the beginning or from
I'm
the
just
end?
saying from
Look,
that
it's
point
the
of
end.
being
It
from the
drafted.
end,
has to
right?
be the end. Wait,
Right.
you said it has to be the end.
If you're looking
Of
at
what?
it, if
You're saying the expectations.
Yeah.
It had to be the end.
So coming out being the #1 high school player in the country,
Right,
you
facts,
have to.
facts.
So now, basically, the #1 player in the country, you projected to be what? 5, 6 Pro Bowls, All Pro. Like that's a projection.
Mhm.
Like you have to live up to this standard.
okay.
It's different.
Bub, he didn't live up to anything of even a good receiver.
He was never a receiver though.
Well, I mean, but
he lived up to what he did at Florida.
Yeah,
Well,
he
you know,
bought-
we're
he bought
talking-
it for-
I just don't think he touched the ball enough at Florida. To be honest with you,
he did.
If it wasn't for Tebow, he probably wins the
I'm about to
Heisman.
say-
and their team was
I'm about to
crazy.
say,
I
don't know how much
again,
more you
I was
want to get.
I was in
They
for
had
it.
a lot of
I was at the practice.
But he never got used like that either. Like I'm not, you know what I mean, whatever.
Right.
But I'm just making.
Hey, bro, and they had guys.
They still talk about the nigga.
Bro, they
I
had.
watched Cam Newton.
Skip Bayless still talk about the
See what Cam
nigga.
Newton said?
Bro,
Right.
bro, they had
Best player I
guys.
ever seen. Right.
They had guys there.
Yeah, no, his college
He
career
got the
was
ball.
like that.
P got the
I
ball.
was talking about
The amount
bro.
that he should have got.
Yeah, I'm about to say he got it. There was too many niggas. Everybody had to eat. The same as our Landstown team. Everybody. That's why I said I wasn't mad about the fact that the carry.
So the reason why I asked you, are we starting from the beginning to the end? Because should we appreciate Brady more because he got it out the mud because nobody had any expectations about him? Yes, we should appreciate that more. But should we say
I didn't say not appreciate. I said which is harder.
that's what I was saying? We should appreciate it more in the end, but in the beginning when you're going through it, no. If you make it easier
that's a
for me,
retrospect conversation.
if you make it easier
That's a
for me,
retrospect conversation.
right?
You looking back. You
But it's-
looking back.
Right, you looking
but-
back at it.
You could I might have all the amenities, but I still have to play. Like
We've been doing
it's not,
this
but
forever.
still,
What you
it's still at the
mean?
highest level that there
Why is it
is.
different?
There's
I'm
a lot
better
of
than
guys.
all
There's
y'all.
a lot of guys that have been better than everybody, and they bust. Most of the guys that come out as the #1 guy, they never make it. That's rare. It's rare to be the guy from here all the way up through your life and still be the guy. Most of those guys that are those guys, they're not that guy.
They are not.
I'm telling you, it's a few
You're
that
right.
just come all the way up and be the
You're
guy.
right. You are right.
So
I'm
to
just
get
looking-
back to this conversation with the benefit, since we're going all the way back to high school and college, he didn't have to be that nigga until his junior year though.
I'm not disputing any of that.
I'm just saying. I'm
But
saying he didn't
once
have
he
to be
became, see, look, it was easier because he didn't have expectations. Right
I'm
there.
just going against what
he
you
didn't
said.
have.
I don't
but
agree
he
with
didn't
any-
have.
I don't agree
But
with
as a
anything you're saying.
sophomore, he doesn't have expectations.
Yeah, I don't agree with anything you're saying, but I hear
He doesn't
you.
have expectations then.
I got you.
Think about it.
I don't agree.
And bro, in my mind,
That's like saying, would you rather grow up rich or poor? But you was poor because you got it out the mud. But you was rich, so you got the silver spoon, so it was easy. Nigga, I will take rich because I know what poor look like. So fuck that. I'd rather grow up with the silver spoon and deal with those problems than poor nigga problems. What are you talking about? Oh, he had to deal with these expectations. So
right?
it was
And in my mind, again, knowing people from everywhere that's come to different schools, I feel like we kind of cut from a different cloth.
And he was also.
Exactly. So again,
No,
our
How,
perspective.
Bob? How can he go through our shit and be mentally soft?
That's another story.
That's
No,
a
that's
whole
what-
nother
that's what
story.
we- that's
But I don't.
That's
but
a
you
whole-
talking about something everybody's not privy to that, Mike.
Right.
We're judging football. I'm talking about from a football perspective and having to deal with all these other things.
So
that
let me
go
ask you
around.
this. Let me ask you this. If I've been better than everybody my entire life, and I also have the red carpet rolled out for
At
me,
what point am I gonna lose my confidence?
right? So what happens then?
At what point?
How is that harder?
At what point am I gonna lose my confidence?
But people do it all the time.
They do, unfortunately.
But you talking about
Michael Jackson lost his confidence. He bleached his fucking skin, Mike. What are you talking about? It happens. That's Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson lost his confidence. Right? Come on, Mike. Like, you know what I'm saying? He lost his confidence.
We had this conversation earlier. We had a conversation before we got on the mic, and we was like, yo, we were different type of niggas. We were cut from different cloths, and so that's kind of, I think that's what niggas trying to say. Like, yo, we were cut differently, we were built differently, so therefore, I ain't about like. And unfortunately, especially
it don't apply. I don't feel like it applies to us.
No, not to us, bro. Not to us.
But certain things, but it don't always work that way.
I know.
Because what damn, that might be his pitfall, but you gonna stand tall in it.
Let me
You know what I'm saying?
piggyback on that. Again, there's a lot of mental health month. There's a lot of stuff that's his business.
It was last month.
Oh,
I'm about to say.
I
I think it's
no,
over.
May.
No, it's this
May.
one.
Oh,
It's May.
Okay.
It's May.
It's
So
about to be over.
all right. So,
All year.
So there was a lot of stuff that happens, but I feel like truly knowing how, I wouldn't say we grew up, how
He was 10 or 11.
right that wasn't a hard upbringing.
But you talking from the outside, we talking from the inside.
That wasn't a hard upbringing.
I can't give you a pass, dog.
That wasn't.
I'm saying because we grew up together.
That wasn't a hard upbringing.
We grew up together.
It wasn't hard. When we moved, when our family moved into there, it's a pool in the backyard. What we talking about? What J's you ain't got?
I'm sorry for not having compassion for some shit that don't make sense to me. Like I can't have compassion for some shit, and that's what I said.
What, man?
That team,
tint the windows out. Back then, Camry was fly. Back then, 25-inch rims.
I don't have compassion for no nigga that got everything. None, cause I didn't.
Right.
So I had to figure it out. So I don't disagree.
Right.
But you asking me how I feel.
Right.
And I have no compassion for no rich nigga that's talking about mental health. I don't understand that.
Nobody was rich, but
I'm not that. I'm talking about like in life right now.
Right.
I mean, Robin Williams blew his head off.
I don't understand that, bro. You had everything. I don't get it.
Kurt Cobain.
You want me to understand that, or you want me to?
I don't subscribe to this.
I said I understand.
I'm just saying, bro. Like, mental health is real.
It's very real. It's very real. It's very real.
But it could be a lot harder if you
so-
didn't have it. If you didn't have it, I bet you got some other mental health
You know what I'm
issues.
saying?
I bet the mental health is a lot worse when you worry about check to check. The mental health is a lot worse when your father ain't around.
You can't
Like, who you talking
quantify
about?
mental health, man. You can't.
Right, agree.
You can't
No,
quantify
that's
it.
what I'm
You
saying.
can't
Like,
quantify it.
so that's why I said like I can't subscribe to it because I don't get it.
I'm a mental health guy.
Me too.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
Right. You can't quantify it. You can't
Mike's
quantify
trying to get us canceled over here.
All the retards.
Whoa! Michael T. 1920 on the second part.
Edit it
Michael
out.
T. Those are the statements from Mike Mayers and Mike Mayers from Devon Wiggins and Mike Mayers. Not subscribe to
My
that.
name is motherfucker. I ain't in this shit.
Oh, okay, so Mike,
kicking in.
so little Nick, so Nick, you left ODU as the all-time leading. No, but what was that like? Starting a program, you know, in college. Like, what was that like?
It was dope, and it's gonna sound super corny. It was dope because of y'all. I know how good football can look. I know how good football can look, and I know how this area will ride for a good football team. At that particular point in time, just
The battery's about to die.
Definitely have to do a part 2.
Shit. You got no plug?
No, this is good shit.
it is.
Does it have a plug?
It's it's in the box.
You need to redo this shit, bro.
I know.
Your shit dead.
It is.
Boy, them steroids are kicking in, buddy.
That's fine. You need to get you something.
I don't want none of that.
Weak ass arm.
That nigga is on the gym.
You should get something.
His fucking shoulders are tight as a bitch. You need a massage.
On the card reader.
I almost said something disrespectful to you, so.
You said something disrespectful on camera. You might as well get your shit off now.
Right. He's an asshole.
Michael
Yes.
Mayer.
Act like you don't know that he's an asshole.
Y'all want me to talk? Yeah.
I'm gonna tell it like it fucking is.
That one on Charlie.
How you forever? What are you doing? That's my charger.
I just want to put. Can I use it? Is it? I would. I mean, what? Goddamn, Mike. It ain't clean. It looks like it's new.
Start the program, and so what's that process like?
So the dope part about it was, for me looking back at it, like actually being involved in it was kind of weird. At the time that I actually got to ODU, nothing was built. We had no football facility. It was nothing. When they showed us the tour, it was literally virtual. Virtual, literally. Hey, we'll show you a PowerPoint presentation on how everything's gonna look. The stadium wasn't built. It was a soccer stadium at the time. Our cafeteria at the time, or what it is right now, was not it at all. Everything was being built. So it was super dope. And like I said, the dope part about it was I always knew, because like I said, I saw how a community could ride for a team. So it's like, if I can watch a community ride for a team like this in high school, imagine what's gonna happen when I get to college and we're actually really good. And the dope part about it was, and I'll keep it a bean, I think I'm an intelligent man, but I never gave a fuck about school. Never gave a fuck about school. So when people was interested in me in high school, the conversation was very short. What's your GPA? All right, dead, done. So the opportunities that I had to go to different colleges was slim, because my GPA was not it at all. However, it was like that for a lot of us from here. It was football, period. We ran track, we played basketball, we did everything at that time. But
We play baseball. We can't play. We play baseball.
I got hit and I quit.
Oh no.
You ain't gonna hit me with a fucking
Negro
ball.
League.
But
We had a badass baseball team. Our baseball team was so fucking lit.
oh my goodness. So like I was saying,
It was an all-black
it
team.
was, and at the time everybody was like that. So Zeus was, I was on a visit with Zeus, Marquel Thomas. It was all of us there. We all knew it was gonna be dope. Hakeem Brody, we all knew it was gonna be dope, because we know how this area rides for football. So the decision to go there wasn't hard at all, because we literally eat and sleep and breathe football here. Like it ain't no way around it. Period.
So, as you started transitioning to college, what was that like being an athlete, student athlete, and then you're having a job?
I love kids. A lot of people don't know this about me, but I actually grew up wanting to be a teacher. So I actually really love kids. Like, bad as shit in school growing up. Your sister could tell you. Bad as shit in school. But when it came to like math and stuff, I've always been good with numbers. So teacher be teaching some stuff, kids don't get it. I'm like, all right, wait till she sit down. I got you. So the kid part for me personally, easy. The difference is who you have a child with. That is what makes it.
I got you.
That's what makes it a little dicey. But honestly, I wouldn't trade it for anything, because it matured me so much. Like it matured me so much. Like I was managing money crazy. Like I didn't have to pay for school, but that Pell check that came in, it's go time. Like when I first found out that my girlfriend at the time was pregnant, I got 2 jobs in high school. Walked to work. I was working at Car Spy. Quit Car Spy and was like, yo, Ruby Tuesdays and Farm Fresh. I don't know if it's still there right now off of Princess Anne Road. Ruby Tuesdays and Farm Fresh, right? I'm gonna work both of these jobs so that I can make sure when I go to college and can't work, she gonna have something, and you know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Because I couldn't work, but it was dope because it put responsibility on me, and solely focused on athletics. We know at this point that's not gonna take you that far. It's not gonna take you that far. You need to be a well-rounded individual, and you need to have a plan. And so having a child at that time made me realize I need to have a plan. What are you about to do? It ain't about you now. You got somebody else in this world. So I got 2 jobs. I worked 11 to 6 at Farm Fresh, and then 11 to 4 was part-time, and then 5 to 12 at Ruby Tuesdays, literally right across the street. Four out of the 7 days a week. And that was dope to me. When I got to school, she's eating in the cafeteria. She was always there. All my homeboys send me pictures to this day. Like, man, I remember your daughter, man, she getting old now. It was dope. I loved it, honestly.
That was the beauty of him going to school close. Like, you know, because at that time we were making decisions.
So that played obviously a huge
Absolutely.
factor in your decision.
Yeah, for sure.
1000%. If I didn't have a daughter at that time, I don't think I probably would. That probably would have happened.
Where do you go? Let's just play, devil's advocate.
I might have went to. It was probably Tennessee Tech at the time. Tennessee Tech had a good program at that time.
East Tennessee State? Was it East Tennessee?
It was Tennessee Tech. They had a good program at the time. They had a really, really good quarterback at the time. But I was strongly considering them. But when I had a daughter, there's no way I'm going that far. No way I'm going that far.
So, all-time when you relieve, all-time leader in receptions, yards, touchdowns. Talk that shit, man. You know what I mean? What's that like? Let's play around a little bit.
All right.
Who's the better? Who had the better college career?
Oh, me for sure. He'll tell you that.
Will you tell him
Who had a
that?
better number?
Numbers, Nick did.
Nick did.
Nick
He put up more tons. He put up way more tons.
Yeah.
That's what he did. They gave it to him. Nick was. That's a fact. They gave it to him. I mean, I had. The problem is Nick was the only nigga.
Yeah, I see you play with.
I played with
Walter
Campbell.
Yeah.
No,
So how
it wasn't. You didn't play with a Walter Campbell. I'm saying you had your guys, but they wasn't like my guy.
Yeah, this guy was a Walter Camp All American.
Yeah, we had this
One guy.
conversation. Okay.
One guy.
Okay.
One guy. And again,
And you don't sleep on Bo. Don't do Bo like that. Don't
Man,
do Bo like
I'm
that.
cool.
Don't do Bo like that.
I'm not gonna do Bo like that, but all I'm saying is,
you know Bo. Don't do Bo like
I'm
that.
telling you, my experience in life.
He had a better. I actually do think Nick's core was Nick's team.
Because it was you, my
No.
That's what I'm saying. My was like that.
But it
wasn't
wasn't.
like that.
He wasn't. It was other niggas. It was other niggas.
But I literally look at my college career like how I looked at y'all's high school shit, honestly.
And it was like that.
It literally was just like that. We had dudes on our team that I know could have went anywhere and been that guy. Anywhere that they wanted to go. My coach was a really, really good coach, Coach Malloy, shout out to him, but he would go to schools all the time, and Coach Malloy was a real dude. He would tell us, fam, y'all are better than them, they're just bigger. He would tell us all the time, y'all are better than them, keep doing what y'all are doing. Y'all keep doing what y'all doing. Y'all are better than them.
What is that like? Because now, size always plays a factor, but not as much anymore. Because you see a lot of the smaller guys are getting those opportunities.
Well, so that was the problem.
What was that like for y'all? Like, knowing that you can ball and knowing that I can play with any of these guys.
I was the first year. I was the first year.
The fuck a chip, a boulder, man. Fuck these niggas.
Fact.
They not like that. They're not like that.
And that's how we felt. And the problem was for me, it was just West Walker. It was just West Walker. It was just, and when I came out, it wasn't cool. Little niggas weren't cool. And so it was like, yo, well, you're not getting drafted, cool, no problem. But you can go, we're gonna send you out to Buffalo, see what you can do. And I did my thing, and it was what it was. And I didn't make the team, and that story wrote itself also. But it wasn't cool. And then the years followed was like, oh, now y'all niggas finally saw. I've been like my pops was trying to tell you, my agent was trying to tell you, like my people were trying to tell you, like this is what it is. And that's why I always think like, yo, I knew this shit, but no one else can see it. No one else can see it. No one's listening. And it was like, now y'all want little niggas. And that's why I thought that he was gonna have a better shot. Because he was 4 years behind, and somehow, some way, it just didn't play out. They was comparing him to Randall Cobb. It was like, yo, when he's coming out, it was like, yo, he can do that. He's a Randall Cobb type dude, and it just didn't happen. But for me, it wasn't. It was fucked up because it was like, yo, I don't understand what y'all niggas looking at. And I remember coming out, and I'm like,
Go ahead. That's where the Beatty come in, because he made you think the game. Because it's like, we can have this big receiver that could moss you. We in high school.
But does he know how to sit down? Does he
Can
know
he?
how to work in the zone?
It's all about separation. It's all about creating space and separation.
Yep.
if my quarterback is like that when we get to the NFL, now we can have that conversation. Because the quarterback in the NFL going to put it exactly where it needs to be. But in high school and in college, I need space. So I'm sure what my brother was trying to say is we did not respect or did not understand what y'all did not understand about separation, because it's simple. Give me an open window. If you can't create separation, you're not a good receiver. Period.
It wasn't. That was easy. That was easy.
And so what
I never known I could cover. I still know it.
And so how I felt about it, I'm like, that's your loss. But
and it was.
It was.
Because you saw the league transition to it later, and it was like, that's stupid.
It's literally as funny as like, remember everybody in man back in the day, get a running quarterback. We was doing that 10 years ago. Now y'all want running quarterbacks. Everybody played with the black quarterback. We've been doing this since 2000.
Take Neil Donald ass out and start
man. We've been get Quincy Carter.
Yep, I'm just about to say Quincy Carter.
Man, put the running quarterback in, but y'all don't see it. And it's crazy, but it's like, what can you do? So I wasn't mad at it, but it's like, man, that's your loss.
Yeah, I definitely wasn't mad, but I was just like, this is the type of shit. When I say to you, like, the football knowledge is different, it's just like, y'all didn't see that, we saw that. Like, it's just different type shit, so it is what it is. But, yeah. To get back to your question, though, because you asked who had the better career. Nick is a better athlete than I am.
Let me ask you this.
Nick is a better athlete.
What does he do better than you, and what do you do better than him? How about let's do that.
The intricacies of the route, I feel like I'm better. Everything else, well, I'm not even gonna say catching. I don't think there's anything different besides that.
We'll both put one on the ground
hands wise, I don't think there's difference in that. Speed wise, we're different in that. I got speed, but Nick is a better athlete, 100%. Okay. 10 times, he's a better athlete than I ever could have tried to.
So that's why he was able to move around a little bit more than you. Is that what you said? Fair assessment?
I'm sorry, I hate to do this, but I wanted to bring it up. Dame and Quay. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
The younger brother comes up.
It is the same thing. It's literally the same. It is actually the same thing.
He's gonna be better.
Yeah, no choice.
He should be better.
He's supposed to be.
He's supposed to be.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same. It is the same kind of thing. Yeah, the same thing to do. Like Quay's in my top 5. Quay's that nigga. And Quay wasn't like Dame.
So give me your top 5 receivers.
What time is it? To me, my top 5 receivers: Quay, Dame, me, Nick, and Jeremy. That's my top 5.
What's your 5, Nick?
I think Quay, Dame. I wanted to say this. Damon is the best receiver that has come out of Virginia Beach. I want to make that very clear because
he's high on Dame.
I've been very offended.
Better than Mexico? Or you just not going that far?
I ain't going
that far. You're saying that era. Okay.
Yeah,
in that
I'm not going that far.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
I have been so upset for Dame.
Bro, you see how mad I got on the one episode
what are we talking about? What are we talking about? Dame was like that.
I don't understand people like.
But anyway, so
like Dame.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like, you also got to talk to receivers because we know our craft also.
Right.
Like niggas, I can tell you what I think about other shit, but like this is my craft. I know my craft.
Right.
And I've been successful in my craft.
Right.
So I can speak to that. Man, Dame was that nigga. Like, and it's different. Like Dame, it's just different, man. And that's what I'm saying. Like everybody keeps looking at when Beatty comes through and it's like, yeah, all these people have these numbers. It's like, nah, dog. Like these niggas were actually good despite the fact that they had the benefit of Beatty. They would have been good regardless. They would have been good at receiver regardless if Beatty was the fucking icing on the cake that made the shit pop. Dame was that nigga.
Mm-hmm. So why you don't feel like that way about Pete?
Because I don't. Speed's not a receiver.
You think he was polished enough every season? You don't think he focused on it enough?
No, he didn't.
And to have Pete, why would you? I'm running.
No, okay. No, that's not integration at all. No,
I'm talking about harder That is what you probably
That's the
should-
problem. That's his
that
problem.
was his problem.
That was his problem. It was too easy.
It was too easy. I don't have
That's
to work
why-
on my
that's
craft.
right,
I gotta work
right,
on get on my
right,
break.
right.
I don't
He
gotta
didn't-
stick and move and get out of the break.
I ain't gotta
But
worry about
me-
leaning on a nigga and popping out.
Me-
Yeah, I was talking about that the other day. I was
But
like,
me that couldn't
I
bench-
knew I was a step slower, so
But couldn't bench
I had to
185.
study. I have to know. I have to be smarter than you.
Yeah,
I
he
to
didn't
make
have-
up for that stuff.
He didn't have to
Right.
worry about that shit. He stepped on the field. He was the best nigga by far. So he didn't hone in his craft. He didn't run good routes. He never ran good routes.
Never.
He never did. He couldn't catch great. He could not catch great. He never could catch great. But he was the best athlete every fucking time he stepped on the field. Every time. Every fucking time. Period.
Even in the league.
I think so. Most
He
of
was
the
the
time.
best
Most of the
athlete.
nights.
He was the
Most
best
of the
Most of the
athlete.
nights.
He wasn't used to right play in the league.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
He was the best- he's
But
the
most
best
of the
athlete.
nights,
Yeah, for
he's
sure.
the best. He's the best athlete.
Yeah,
on the
for
field.
sure.
His first
Yeah.
year, they used him the way he should have been used. You saw what happened.
I just wish he would have handled Minnesota better because I think that was the best fit for him.
It was.
That was the best.
They wasn't gonna use it. They put him out of X sometime. They put him out of Y. They put him
Why
wide
would you
receiver.
not? Why would you not?
Because I remember there,
he
when
was
I seen
Reggie
him,
Bush.
when I seen him lining
He
up
should've
at running,
played-
he didn't line him up at running back.
Sometimes, but they was putting him in the die.
Fam, that
He was
conversation,
die.
yo,
It was
that
insane.
conversation
Yo, when
is
he used to run
literally,
that counter,
yo, that conversation that we
was
talking about is
die.
literally the same conversation that we talking about right now.
Yeah.
Know how to use what you
Yeah,
got.
right.
You,
But they
you
put
can
him
line
in
P up at X. You can line P up at Y. You
Think
can
about
line
it.
up at Z.
Urban Meyer did everything that Chris Beatty did with him.
But do you? But let me. This is the
Exactly.
thing that I wanted to get to make it clear. Urban never talked about P as a receiver. He talked about P as a special
athlete.
player.
Mhm.
The same way he talks about Samuels. The same way he's trying to do ETN right now. So when
Mhm.
y'all keep saying stupid shit about like P was a great receiver, he wasn't.
Nobody said that.
No, I'm saying he's not in the top 5 receiver either.
I think so. You
Yeah, I mean-
he played receiver.
Right, but that's fine. But he wasn't a top 5 receiver. He was the best person.
Well, he's the best person, and he played receiver, so you can't.
That's
You
fine.
can't
That's
dismiss
fair.
that.
I understand
And the
that.
numbers he put up, like,
Come
he
on,
got
man.
it.
What if he could have played quarterback and would have did the same thing? It just kind of was what he did. It's what he did.
But
I'm just saying he could have played any. He could have played running back and did that.
facts.
He just so that's what I'm saying. Like the best receiver though.
Mhm.
No, he wasn't a receiver.
He played it though.
He was because he played it,
Yeah.
and that was the system that we ran. Had we been in a different system, he would have played running back.
That's what he was playing with Jad.
Yeah, he
No,
was.
no,
He
he was
played receiver.
He's playing B. He's
Jad
playing
moved
receiver.
him to running back
He's playing
at the
receiver.
end of the
He
year.
was playing receiver though. He was playing.
And that's
receiver.
that, like, one game he scored like 4 touchdowns.
Mhm.
He was playing receiver. But either way, no matter what P would have played, he would have did that. That's my point.
Right.
So let's not pretend like he's a great receiver because he played it.
So that's why
he could have
that's-
played
that's
any
why I'm
position and
saying-
been great.
That's
He-
what I'm saying. I feel like Beatty was doing what he was doing, and people it was like chatter. It was like chatter about Beatty. But then when P come in, I have the #1 player in the country. You can't say that P was gonna be number
That's
one.
why I think. That's why I think Beatty benefited more.
That's why, it's
I think that
it's
wave
simple.
took him like
Man,
it
put him
gave
on
him
another-
so much
right.
notoriety
Fam.
because you have to have that
Talking about a
guy
battery
to
in
do
your
what
back,
he was
nigga.
doing. Yeah.
But how did we get there? Though?
And you're meeting
No, I'm
every
saying, how do we
coach
get there,
in the
though?
country.
In the country.
He's making relationships
I'm
with
networking.
every
I'm
coach
networking.
in
Are
the
y'all
country.
forgetting about Devion? Are y'all forgetting about Jeremy?
I'm not.
They-
But it
Bro,
wasn't.
Mike,
they had to
Mike, you
come-
weren't there.
they had to-
Mike, you weren't there.
But no, but I'm saying they
I
had to
met
come
Bobby
first.
Bowden,
Yeah,
bro. I
bro.
met,
We both.
Urban Meyer was sitting on the couch in the living room.
Joe Paterno walked in Landstown. Like,
What's
old
that? Ohio
ass-
State.
Tressel was
Yes.
there.
Come on, man.
This is. I remember. This
I'm
is
not-
when
I'm
Saban
not-
was at
two-
LSU.
again, two
Right.
things- Two things can be true. I'm not saying you're wrong. My point is they had to come. They had to know that this area was worth coming to.
And they
first.
been knew that.
Yeah, yeah.
They been knew that.
Right, and that's
But
what I'm saying.
it got different because it got different. They came back. They got
But
different.
they came back. But they came though.
They came.
Hey, it's
So that's
one
what I'm
thing-
saying. Don't,
Hey,
they
but
was
Mike,
already
but Mike,
there.
but
They
Mike,
was there.
It's one
They came
thing-
for Jeremy. They
It's
came for
one,
Devion.
yeah, but it was.
They
It
were
was
there.
the
It wasn't
recruiting coordinator.
No,
like
it
that.
wasn't.
It wasn't the
Urban
head coach,
Meyer.
right?
No,
That's the difference.
It wasn't Tim
That's
Tressel.
Beamer. That's Beamer up the road.
Beamer came to
Beamer.
fucking.
That's
Beamer
Beamer.
watched
That's
Devion
Beamer.
stab somebody in the mat room doing some stupid shit, acting a fool. Beamer was
He's
there.
supposed to do that. I'm talking about Urban Meyer flying from
I got you.
Florida.
Tressel.
Trussell, Pete Carroll coming from
Tressel
LA.
came back to watch Dan play basketball.
They wanted
let's be
Dame.
clear.
Man, they wanted Dame
Ohio State wanted
bad.
Dame bad.
No,
They wanted
that's
Dame
not. Well, again, I'm
I got you.
not. We're not taking that down.
Man, I
I'm
don't
just saying
get this
it's just
nigga.
different.
It was different. It was different.
Yeah, of course
It
it
was
was
different.
different. It
Of
was
course
different at that point in time.
It
But I'm
was
just
different.
saying, like they had to
And
come
the whole
for
time,
something
just
in the first
circling
place.
back to me, that's what made it so great from when I was playing. And literally every week that I played, 1A, big time. We talking about Tony Gregory. We talking about Marcus Davis. We talking about Zeus. That 08, we gotta talk about that. That was a
class. Cause hold on. 08, right?
08.
So who else is in there?
EJ.
Yeah.
That class was different. So talking about carrying a torch, all of my guys got hurt. Rest in peace, Alan Powell. Love you, bro.
Mm-hmm.
AP was the quarterback, got hurt.
He was a dog.
Yes. X got hurt. So I feel kind of way about it that I couldn't do what I wanted to really do, but it's like, fam, what can I do when all the guys that was like that got hurt? But man, that year was crazy. Randall Dunn, like D1
Best quarterback you ever played for?
that I played for. Oh, he in the league right now. Taylor Heineke.
Heineke. You talking about high school?
Best player you ever played with? High school. I mean, best quarterback. Yeah, man.
Oh, Scott Riddle.
Yeah. Heineke with the
Scott Riddle that dude. Scott Riddle that I mean, his freshman year in college. This is college.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we had the number 2 offense in the country. We wasn't playing the game. We was playing
And when I played, that's what by this wide receiver stuff, we had the number 1 offense in the country.
We won't play
Yeah,
that game.
y'all were.
We would run that shit up.
You had like what? I seen you had what? 5 2-touchdown games your senior year, a 3-touchdown game.
Yeah.
So you was getting busy.
Yeah, I had a 280 game with 3 tubs. Yeah.
No, like that year that I'm talking about, like Terrell
Y'all
had
was like
Terrell had
y'all broke Jerry Rice.
Right. I'm saying, yeah. We did that. We broke
Jerry Rice and Joe Thomas.
Right.
They had 189
Not to
receptions.
disrespect their conference at the time because they merged now, but the CAA at that time, what they called it the SEC of AA at the time.
But it wasn't at my time.
No, it wasn't. No.
We had App State that went 3.
It was one team.
And Furman and Wofford. They went to the playoffs every year.
Okay. All right, I got you.
Well, I mean, when you came, it was the same thing. When you came, it was the same thing. And at that time, like there was who was in the CAA?
What are you talking about?
At that time when I was playing. They were not better than App State and then say another team.
They just won a natty.
No, App State won 3 years in a row. What was I supposed to leave school?
It was one
That's
team.
what I said,
It was App State. It was literally App State and nobody else.
And Georgia Southern that beat y'all.
Georgia Southern has always been good.
What are you
They've
talking
always been good.
about?
They've
And
always
Georgia
been
Southern.
okay.
What's
So 2
my name?
teams.
How many more teams you want, nigga? How many more teams
When I
you want?
tell you, it was 7
Furman.
teams ranked in the top 25.
And we had the same thing. Look it up. Wofford and Furman.
All right, that's 4 now. Next.
Bro, that's all I mean. What do you want me to do?
7.
I just said we had a team that won state, the national championship 3 years in a row. Like, there's nothing to talk about.
And they not all this year.
Right. What the fuck are we talking about? Like, what are we talking about?
That peak was crazy.
And that was a team that I had 384 total yards, broke the Southern Conference record, Conference Player of the Year, a touchdown ran back, 12 touchdowns, and over 200 yards receiving on that team. So what the fuck are we talking about? Like,
Talk that shit, Mike.
Like, what are we talking about?
Talk that shit, Mike.
Like, and that was that same team that Mario Manahan got locked up on that whole game that pissed me off. That was saying that I had feelings about that because I was like, yo, this nigga getting drafted. He didn't do shit with these niggas, but I broke all kinds of records versus these niggas. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Your conference wasn't better than when I was playing. When you were playing, when I was playing.
It's always been like that, bro. It's always been like that. I promise you, it's always been like that. You can look it up. It's always
I
been
don't
like
need to.
that.
I played it.
It's literally always
I
been like
played
that.
it. And no, was it? No one said that. No one.
It's always been like this.
It's literally, yeah.
You know, whatever. It's not. It hasn't been. The Southern Conference was the conference, and then it became CAA. CAA was no slouch. That's the thing he tried to take away from.
I'm not taking away from none, but I said name the teams.
I just did. The team that won 3
I
times
said
in a row.
4. Bro, every
Who
time
are you talking about? UMass and JMU?
No, I'm talking about William and Mary. I'm talking about JMU. I'm talking about New Hampshire.
No.
So you
shout out.
UW, right?
Yes.
What was that like? Did y'all
Yes.
line up together?
Dub was like that. Yeah, we lined. He better check me. Who else he gonna check? He better check me. Yes, we lined up. Dub like that. Dub was like that.
I mean, it's cool. I mean, I don't know. I mean, we're splitting atoms with this conversation. We're splitting atoms with this conversation, so it is what it is. And the CAA was what it was, and it was what it was. And the Southern Conference was what it was also. Now it's different, so it is what it is. I still don't understand how that one could see it differently, but it is what it is.
But in all though, Thanksgiving dinner has got to be dope. When, you know what I mean, y'all both did what y'all did, you know what I mean? I mean, I seen that you Hall of Famer, right? I seen you.
No, not
Wall of Fame.
Wall of Fame.
I seen the Wall of Fame. I seen that. I remember that.
I had a mirror also. That was dope.
Like,
Until they painted over it.
I mean, you're definitely you're gonna at some point you be in the Hall of Fame. I mean, it's inevitable. I mean, you left with every record that they had. You know what I'm saying? Every record's been broken. I'm pretty sure they have. They throw the ball.
Right. No, they don't.
They don't throw the ball more.
Really?
I've got at least still probably 5 records there right now. At least 5.
No, I mean Thanksgiving dinner is no different
But hold
than any other dinner.
Hold on. This is the dope part about what we've been talking about legacy and the standard. Honestly, me and Mike don't talk about us no more. We don't talk about it. It's over.
Yeah, I'm talking about back then. Back then, I ain't saying now.
So what I'm saying is, we just have a different level of thinking about football where we don't want to throw ourselves in that conversation no more. It's why, like why and again that's why he's like, how do you view that situation? It's totally different. Like we just have a higher standard on what we think about when it comes to football and what you should have done, and what you could have done, and the opportunities that was granted to at the time. We just think a little differently about it.
The funny part is me and Damos were just talking about Damos Coley. We were talking.
Right. Damos was like that too.
We were talking about. We was like, yo, like niggas see us now, they know us now. It's like, but they don't really know like what we really went through. Like, cause Damos was still that dog even when we went to school. But it's, you know, it's just like niggas just don't know. But as far as like how we think or what we think about what it was, at the end of the day, for us, it was just like, yo. Between me and Nick, we had 2 parents who figured it out, and they didn't have to pay for our schools. We both went to school on a full scholarship. They both had 2 All American wide receiver sons, and they were able to take that football to another level and turn it into jobs. That's all it's about. That's all it's about. All the other shit.
It's about.
It is what it is. The league shit that was cool. It didn't happen. It is what it is. There's no ill will to that. Like it was what it was. But I don't feel no kind of way. No one feels no kind of way. But like that's for us at the end of the day. That was the standard. That's what we take away from everything that we did. And that's the thing that we preach to kids. I'll tell you, use that shit as a means to an end. Like it ain't about going to the league. It's just a means to an end. If you get there, you get there. If you don't, you know, make it make sense.
Before we wrap up, how'd you get into the bodybuilding?
Is that what
Trump or die?
Oh my God. Is that what we closing on? Bob, is that what we closing on really?
How? I don't
Come
even
on,
know
man.
how.
This is low hanging fruit, but you better than this. I taught you better than this, son.
What?
Fam.
We can't talk about that.
Fam, I'm midlife crisis. Fuck this, nigga. What we talking about?
Shit,
Yeah, what we talking about? Nigga, you old and washed now. What we doing? What we doing?
But he been in the gym lately losing weight.
Yeah. That's what's up.
But you been in the gym losing weight though.
Right.
That don't mean he want to goddamn go get muscles in his motherfucking ears.
Just because you can't do it, that's not my fault.
Like, I could if I wanted to. I don't want to. I'm old.
Muscle man.
I'm not old, but I'm like, I got better stuff that I can cut my
Muscle
time with.
man.
That's fine. Well, I can buy your time.
My bad, bro. I stepped on your shit. Get your shit off, bro. My bad.
Ain't nothing to get off. You see it.
No, it's dope.
You see it.
My bad.
I just often wonder how he got into it.
I'm head. My bad. I'm head. You right.
You see it, and you see it. I ain't got to
Right.
see
What
it.
made you, you know what I mean?
Nah, because I needed that grind. You needed that discipline. So for me, it was just the discipline and the grind. Something to keep me out of happy hour all the time. Something to keep me out of the club all the time. It was basically just like,
happy hour.
Because you look like that, and that's what it was. So at the end of the day, it was more or less like, yo, I just needed something to keep me back on some discipline and to chase the game. Like you're not playing ball no more. So it's just like, what can I do to get that same feeling?
Think about it.
To get that same
Think
feeling.
about it, Bub. I ain't never had a problem with ladies.
Right. I look like that. Hold on. Hey. I look like that. Fuck we talking about?
Everybody, well, first off, let's be clear.
These
They